Welcome to the This Day program for this Wednesday, January 12th. Thanks for joining us on the program today. We have a great program for you today. We're going to be bringing you Jerry from Pacific Financial Services, and he's going to be talking about, our financial environment that we live in today. Also, we're going to have the Art Association. That's Noel Hatch and Elise Rothrock. If you ever had a chance to come up to the community center, you'll see wonderful paintings throughout the first and the second floor, and even the third floor as well. We have a few up here, and this is all done by the Art Association members. They had kind of a contest and then a judging process, and some of those pictures are up here. And Noel Hatch, of course, with the City Council as well, and a longtime resident here in our community, is going to tell you all about their selection process. And of course, the Art Association located in Clubhouse 4. Wonderful people over there, great instruction. And you should go over there and check it out. And you never know, you might be an artist. You just need to bring that out. And also, we'll be bringing you Lisa Hart. She's going to be bringing you another 2022 resolution. Well, let's go ahead and take a look outside. It definitely is cooling off for the next few days. We have kind of that, a little bit of cloud cover. It's not too thick, but a little hazy out there. The temperatures are going to be in the 70s this week. Kind of nice to see it warm up just a little bit. It's nice that we get those temperatures coming up just a little bit, but yet we have a little bit of cloud cover for the next few days. So temperatures well into the mid 70s, and then our overnight temperatures will be in the 49 to 50 range. Today it's going to be 75 is our high, and then 49 overnight, and then we'll see those clouds really start to come in tomorrow. But terrific weather out there. And looks like traffic is a little light too, so that's nice as well. Let's take a look at that sunrise sunset. This is out in Dana Point. This is the Strand over there in Dana Point. And Debbie Dotson shot this. And our sunrise this morning was at 6:55 a.m. And our sunset this afternoon is going to be at 5:03 p.m. A wonderful picture over there. The Strand over there, when it's high tide, those rocks kind of hide, so you got to be careful out there, and you'll see those rocks start to boil sometimes. And beautiful place to walk, and of course the homes over there aren't too bad either. So go out there and take a look at that one day. If you have a picture you want to share with us, be sure and email us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. We'll be back with more of our program today, and we do have a couple of meetings that we'll be sharing with you, so stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this.
I'm Jerry Slusowitz, founder of Pacific Financial Planners. Did you know that one simple mistake can derail your retirement plan? By not making the shift to income-based investing, you could be setting up your retirement plan to fail. If you're at or near retirement age, time is not on your side. One major stock market correction could wipe out your life savings. Visit safeincometoday.com to make the switch. Create retirement income you can count on.
Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Jerry Slusowitz here, who is here on behalf of Pacific Financial Planners. Well, Jerry, thank you for coming in. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Lisa. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we've talked a lot about investments and income and retirement. And of course, now we have inflation. And, I think we have lots of questions about how to manage our money and how to make it last for a long time. So I'm really glad that you're here today. But before we get into some of those details, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a financial planner for 35 years now, so kind of a long time. And been in this area here at Laguna Woods Village for well over 30 years. I had clients in here in the late 80s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very familiar with the community. My parents retired here.
Oh, nice.
I own a condo here in the village as well. That's a rental for now because I live close by.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
yeah, so I work with the seniors really. Probably over 30 years ago, I decided to work with people on income strategies for retirement.
Okay, well, let's actually talk about some of those things. For we obviously need income to live, right? And you can help advise people on how to, hang on to their money for a long period of time. What are some of the important things that you think we should be thinking about right now?
Well, it's important to understand that there's got to be a mental shift from investing for growth to investing for income when you retire.
Okay.
And I see it all the time because I meet people literally daily, and I look at their portfolios, and they still have this growth mentality. And the stock market's been fantastic, since about 2011 or whatever, so 10 years, but that's a little long, so people should, kind of take that gift that they had and make this mental shift from growth to income investing, which is significantly different. You gotta figure out what's the purpose of the money. And when you retire, the purpose has got to switch from growing that money to distribution and replacing your paycheck.
Well, now let's talk about, taking those distributions, because, obviously if you take it too early, then you don't, well, I guess because of Social Security is what I was referring to, because you can take it early, but then you cut off a lot of the percentage of what you would receive. So in doing so, you need to make sure that you have supplemental income, correct?
Right, and whether it's coming from your investments or if you have rental properties or mineral rights or something along those lines, some business interests.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, but a lot of people don't. And there's what I call the gap years, and that's you could take Social Security between 62 and 70 anytime. But you're right, Lisa, if you take it too early, you're locking yourself in at a lower rate. And the other thing is taxes come into play. So if you get in a situation where you start taking Social Security and you're still earning money, you might end up in a higher tax bracket. There are ways that we could figure out to fill the gap, if you will, to delay taking Social Security and live off of your retirement interest income.
Okay.
And then have that supplement now that when you get into 72 and beyond, when they have what's called the required minimum distributions, RMDs, then you'll have a lower tax bracket later. So controlling taxes is another thing that we look at Pacific Financial, because it's all kind of intermingled. Retirement is not just one thing. Do I buy one stock? Do I buy one mutual fund?
Right.
It's really having a plan. So when you ask me, about my 35 years, I'm truly a financial planner first, a financial educator first, and then we start talking about, where should you put your money?
Well, and you're also talking a lot about income, right? So you had mentioned to me very early on that you're an income specialist. So when you think about it being from an income specialist perspective, what does that mean?
Sure, thank you, Lisa. It's a big difference. A lot of financial advisors like myself got involved in the 1980s. A lot of people started investing in the community probably in the 1970s, 1980s when they first started having money. And the purpose of the money was to grow the money, okay? And I get it, when you're 30, 40, 50, you've got time to wait it out. But once you get to retirement, the purpose changes and it goes to growth to income. And a lot of advisors don't understand that. So there's this rule out there that says, hey, draw 4% and your money will last. Well, let's take the stock market, for example, from 2000 to 2020. It returned about 6.05%. So it sounds like if you drew 4% off, you could stay with a growth strategy and be fine. But it's the sequence of returns. And the stock market between 2000 and 2003 lost 50%. And then between 2007 and 2009 lost more than 50%. And if you went through those drawdowns, you'd almost be broke today by drawing off of a growth strategy.
Right.
So what I look at really is kind of like if you had a chicken farm, if you will, and you had chickens that laid eggs, would you want to live off of eating chickens every night, or could you live off of eating the eggs? And that income is eating the eggs. So we create strategies where your chickens stay alive, that's your principle, and you eat eggs to live off of, because that is what an income specialist does.
I like that analogy. That's a really good way to look at it, because oftentimes people need those kinds of visuals to be able to go, oh yeah, no, now I get it. We want to, preserve what we have to live on. So that's a great analogy. Let's talk about how inflation is, hurting us or helping us or whatever the case might be with our income.
Well, kind of a true definition of inflation, especially for people here in the village, is you're growing poorer every day when you're on a fixed income.
Right.
And that's the problem. That's what inflation really is. It's you growing poorer because the cost of everything around you, gas, food, medical bills, keeps rising. And now they're rising at rates that we haven't seen in 40 years.
Right.
And if people start remembering the 70s and 80s, those weren't good years. And it's a matter of how deep do we get into it, because this is the beginning of these inflationary periods. So you have to protect yourself against rising costs.
Right.
And the thing is that the longer we live, the more costs go up. So when you're planning for your income strategies, you've got to plan not only for income today, but income down the road.
Right.
So it's really important to say, well, geez, how do we protect ourselves?
Right.
So there's some simple strategies. Like one, for example, is we all need gasoline to drive. Well, when you go to the gas station, if it's Chevron or Mobil, and I'm not advertising those guys, guess what? There's publicly traded companies that offer that, so you can buy those stocks. And I'm not making any recommendations, but they pay pretty good dividends. And then as you can get the income and the dividends out of it and keep up. So when you're pumping your gas, same thing when you go to the grocery store. There's food companies out there that offer that. So there's plenty of ways to protect yourself, but you've got to have a strategy. You've got to understand inflation's real and it's detrimental to someone, which is everyone listening probably, living off of a fixed income.
Exactly. And one thing that's, I think, very interesting, and we won't have enough time to talk about it today, but I do want you to come back because I want to talk about what you just mentioned, is that, putting money into companies in which you put your money into. Like many people might even do it yourself now, that you can't afford to go do other things that you can do it yourself. Well, maybe we should look at Home Depot. There's a lot of things that I do want to talk to you about, especially when it comes to that. Plus, I also want to have you come back and talk about Bitcoin, because that is something that I just heard about for the last 6 days, because my son was here and he's 22. He goes, oh, Mom, the money is just, you're wasting your money. You need to buy Bitcoin. And I'm like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'd love to. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
I do these financial forum speeches, and we're dark here in December, but we're going to come back in January. It's the last Tuesday of the month. The first one in January is going to be on inflation, but we are going to do one on cryptocurrencies, which Bitcoin is one of the cryptocurrencies out there. So definitely going to circle back with you on that, Lisa.
All right, I love it. All right, well, thank you, Jerry. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you again for having me.
You're welcome. And if you want more information, of course, you can always look up online Pacific Financial Planners or Jerry Slusowitz, although I'll let you figure out how to spell that. We'll be right back.
Picking someone to clean your house is a big decision. After all, they'll be inside your house and touching virtually everything you own. Sadly, though, not all cleaning professionals are actually real pros. Like this person you found online who uses the same sponge in the kitchen they use in the bathroom. If you're looking for a local family-owned business with amazing customer service, contact MaidPro for a free estimate. MaidPro, when you're ready for a real pro.
Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Elise Rothrock and Noel Hatch in our studio. Well, welcome, both of you. It's been forever since I've seen you. How are you?
I've grown older but wiser.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. At least you're wiser, right?
Yes,
right.
I'm better looking.
Oh, well, wonderful. Actually, you're right. And Elise, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Lisa?
Good. So we are here on behalf of the art exhibit that is taking place here in the Community Services Building. And what we'd like to know is sort of, how does this come about? I mean, how does it work?
It worked because COVID kind of went away, because we used to do this. I think this is about the third or fourth time we put it on, but there was a hiatus there. And everybody, the artists, I think, were panting a little bit in wanting to display their paintings in this locale, because it's a great location for an exhibit.
Well, that's right. And now that you said we're open, we have lots more people coming
Yes.
through, which is great. And the art is on 3 levels.
Yes.
And so most of the time they can see, the first floor. We're actually looking at some of the art right now. And give me an idea of sort of why you guys chose who you chose.
Elise is the juror and her crew. So what was the criteria you used?
I can't really say that I had any hard and fast criteria. A lot of wonderful paintings were brought up to the 3rd floor to take a look at, figure out what would look good together. It was a process that, it was a very difficult process to figure out what went where.
Right.
And I can't say that we really turned anything away. If it was because of, technical criteria laid forth by the Art Association.
Okay.
But I was glad to have everything that came my way.
So tell me about the Art Association, how that works.
Well, there are about 320 members of the association now. It's one of the larger clubs, and all just residents. And there are a number that are professional artists in their career,
Yeah.
and some of that work is shown here. And many of us love art. Elise and her husband, when they travel, go to art museums, and so she has become really not a critic, but a connoisseur
Yes.
of good art. So
Nice.
this particular show was juried, which meant that only intermediate and advanced artists submitted their work. And as a result, it became a very eclectic exhibit. In styles, you had Impressionism, you have portraits, you have Expressionism, you had abstracts, and there was whimsy in this particular show.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Barack Obama or is it Tiger Woods on
Right.
that one painting? I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen that one, no.
Anyway, so and I named one painting when it was being painted as Mild Cognitive Impairment.
Wow.
As a title. And I will tell you, it is not a landscape, but there is a painting down there that when she was painting it, and it was sitting on the table, and I looked at it and I said, I have a name for that painting. It's not an insult, but I looked at that and I said, that's it. So it was a fun exhibit.
Okay.
There was whimsy and all kinds of fun and talent.
Yeah, well, they're showing some pictures now that are remarkable. Now, you mentioned that you had some particular type of criteria going into this. Yeah. So did you announce it and then let the villagers know that they're going to be doing this and they had a period of time to paint it? Or are they taking from their existing collection?
Well, that was more a function of the Art Association.
Okay.
They did all the upfront organization and coordination, and then, as Noel said, the items that were intermediate or experienced artworks, they brought those to the community center.
Okay.
So that's how that whole process worked.
Oh, yeah. And the one we're showing right now, wow. Awesome.
Right?
Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. I love the way that they're that sepia tone. I mean, it really
captures the 30s.
It really does. And then when you walk in the back door, we're looking at the dog, and it's so cute. I mean, there's so many amazing things.
Yeah, there's an eclectic.
Exactly.
All of these works are for sale. At least the majority of them are. They're very modestly priced, I might mention. But one of the takeaways from this show is that you can't really go in and walk through it and see it once. You have to come back and get up close, see the brush strokes and all of that, and step back. So it's been a good show.
Okay. And then how do people participate? Because I know that you can get to the 3rd floor and, of course, the 1st floor. But generally, we're really not wandering around too much. So how do they go about looking at all of the art and on the 2nd floor as well?
Well, they can come down to the community center and they can go see Margie, the concierge, and she will give them a brochure that lists all of the works in the exhibit, where they are, their titles, what the artist is asking for the item if it's for sale.
Okay.
And if they want to go to the second floor, all they need to do is ask Margie or the security personnel who's there with her.
Okay.
And they'll give access to the second floor, and they can follow that map in the brochure as to where everything is.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coordinating that, both of you. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it just beats the heck out of those plain walls that we've been looking at for a while
sure
up here on the
does.
third floor for sure. So we
does.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. It was fun to put on.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. And the brochure that Elise was talking about is located on the website, which is lagunawoodsvillage.com, and you can type in Art Affair, and it will be it'll pop right up. We'll be right back. Setting resolutions can help you get off to a good start in 2022. A new year can be the beginning of you making changes and living the way you've always wanted. The beginning of finally achieving all the goals and desires that you have. The common hopes many have every January 1st include getting fit, increasing finances, finding love, dealing with less stress, and achieving happiness. If 2021 wasn't great for you, let that motivate you even more to make 2022 the best year ever. I found several ideas for New Year's resolutions. Some are familiar and others you may not have thought of. So here goes. Stick to a budget. Sticking to a budget can help you save more for the lifestyle that you desire. It can also give you more confidence in your ability to manage your finances. Ramsey Solutions provides some great tips on how to stick to your budget. Pay off your debt if you are able to do so. Paying off your debt can also help you have more freedom to do what you want. Learn how to get out of debt and gain more confidence in your finances. Cook at home more often. I think we did a lot of that over the last 18 months is we cooked at home more often. But what that does is it obviously saves you money. By purchasing items at the grocery store instead of going out, you alleviate the need to provide a tip, and you will only pay tax on the items that you have purchased at the grocery store. Make it an objective to try to cook at home more. You might enjoy learning how to make new things. Work at a job you like. Many of you may have a job that you're not liking, but you would like to try something new. Definitely make this year the year that you're going to research a new opportunity for a new job or a side hustle. Get organized. Not only decluttering, but being organized is very important and a good way to help yourself be more successful. Practice having a planner to keep track of what you need to get done. And this is where the notes in your smartphone can come in handy. Give up a bad habit. There are many bad habits people want to give up when they start fresh. Maybe you've been wanting to break that same bad habit for so many years. Well, make this year the time you finally break it. I hope these resolutions will help you have a great 2022. Happy New Year. We'll be right back.
Well, our movie on Friday is going to be called Disorganized Crime, and this was produced in 1989. It does have an all-star cast, and Hoyt Axton, Corbin Burnson, Reuben Blades, Fred Wynn from the Munsters, many of you will remember him, Ed O'Neill, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Daniel Roebuck and William Russ are in this show. It sounds like a kind of a wacky comedy, and it's about a couple of guys that are going to try and rob a bank as four crooks cause trouble while waiting for their leader, who happens to be Corbin Burnson, and he's being chased by two detectives, and he kind of disappears for some reason, and then the other guys are kind of left on their own to try and figure out this heist that they're trying to put together. Produced, like I said, in 1989, so if you remember those days in the late 1980s, Corbin Burnson, very popular, but that is our film for this Friday, so be sure and tune in to that. That's going to be on Friday. We also want to share a couple more things with you. Let's see what we have on our PowerPoint. There you go, our transportation informational meeting. That is being rescheduled. It was supposed to be this Friday on the 14th, but due to the issues regarding the pandemic that are going on, we want to be safe, a little prudent regarding gatherings. So we've moved that meeting until next Friday, the 21st. And one of the nice things about that, we kind of had to alter our schedule for that Friday, but we're also going to televise that live to you right here on Village Television. So on Friday, January 21st at 9:30 a.m., we'll bring that to you live. You can also participate by being on Granicus, and we'll give you that information, or visit the website. I believe it's lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. And then if you missed it, we'll have replays on January 25th at 6 o'clock, and then Thursday, January 27th at 1:30 p.m. Just to give you a little background, Jeff Parker actually spoke about this yesterday. It looks like the Transportation Committee is talking to Agewell. As you know, Agewell is providing bus service in the surrounding communities for years now, and they're looking to maybe partner with them and see if we can help our bus riders and get to the places of destination that they so choose, and hopefully that'll also save the community some money. So if you want to be a part of that, be sure and tune in next Friday, January 21st at 9:30 a.m. and have your voices heard. So very important topic. Hey, let's take a look outside before we let you go. Beautiful day out there, just a little bit of high clouds way up there, but temperatures well into the 70s. It's going to be beautiful for the rest of the week, and overnight temperatures in the low 50s. Clear skies too. If you happen to be out late at night, it's actually beautiful out there. The stars are vibrant, and it's a beautiful night out there if you can walk late at night. Beautiful temperatures over in the low 50s overnight. Well, that'll do it for our program today. Be sure and join us tomorrow. We'll actually have Brilliant Smile here with us tomorrow. Lisa got a chance to talk to her. And they are a longtime sponsor and supporter of Village Television and, of course, Laguna Woods Village, located real close to us right here in Lake Forest. So be sure and stay tuned for that program tomorrow. I'm Paul Ortiz. Thanks for joining us on this day, and do enjoy your day right here in Laguna Woods Village.